You know, the owners sat down and were able to hear from representatives from San Diego, Oakland, and St. Louis firsthand in New York City yesterday. But just before that meeting, the Chargers and the Raiders announced that Bob Iger, the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, is joining their team and will serve as chairman of the relocation effort in Carson. Iger has also the option to acquire part ownership of one of the teams of his choosing, either the Chargers or the Raiders. Now, joining us now to talk about this is Joe Belch. He is a co-founder of the Sports Business MBA program at San Diego State. He is also the department chair of the marketing department. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Joe. Okay, so as a marketing guy yourself and as a sports business guy, how big and how significant is it that Bob Iger is on board Carson?
This is really big, very significant. It's not just lending a name to the project. You're bringing in someone who heads up arguably one of the world's largest entertainment and media companies. He brings in all the expertise of Disney. He has a tremendous track record himself. And I think something also important too is the mere fact that he is involved. I don't think he would have gotten involved if he thought that they're just buying my name and this is just a little ploy. I think this is a very serious move on their part, and I don't think Iger would have lent his name to this project if he didn't think it was going to have a high probability of going through.
And what do you think this is going to do for San Diego's option?
I think this...
What did you really say when you walked in?
Well, you asked me earlier, I said I think San Diego's in trouble in terms of, when I mean the city, in terms of keeping the Chargers, because I just see this as another sign that this isn't a move anymore by Dean Spanos to try to bluff and see what he could do to turn the screws on the city. This is a serious move to put together a team of people up in the Carson project who really are going to move this forward and, moreover, are going to have the expertise to run it very well in the future.
Okay, let's talk about Bob Iger as a businessman, as a CEO right now of one of the most successful companies really in the world. Why would he choose to move in this direction, do you think?
Well, I think Iger's going to be stepping down. He's announced that I think it's 2017 or 2018 that he's going to leave Disney. But successful people don't just stop. They don't go play golf or take trips around the world all day. What they do is they get involved in another project. And I think it's a lot of people's dream to be a NFL owner. And as you noted, part of this deal includes the possibility of him having ownership of one or the other teams, partial ownership, but ownership nonetheless. So I think for him, it's probably a new challenge. It's the opportunity to get involved. And it's also maybe takes Disney closer into the NFL. Disney owns ESPN. They're in the middle of a $15 billion contract till 2021. And I think we're going to see Disney get perhaps more involved with the NFL, which both sides will welcome.
And let's talk about that aspect of it, because to bring in such a brilliant marketing man like Bob Iger, what will that do to perhaps traditional viewing patterns of the NFL?
Well, I think 5 to 10 years from now, we're not sure how we're going to watch football. We may not be watching it on NBC, ABC, Fox, CBS.
Or on regular television,
or on regular television. It may be streamed digitally. There's a lot of talk about ESPN leading the parade for digital streaming down the road, because we know viewing patterns are changing. Iger and his expertise from the media side brings all that to the table. And also the fan experience side is very important here too. We're always seeing professional sports teams saying the fan experience part's very important. I think there's a bigger goal here. The Carson project isn't going to be about just housing two teams. They want to have Super Bowls. They want to be perhaps West Coast operations for the NFL. So I think they have a much bigger vision than just having a stadium where two teams play on Sunday.
And of course, why not bring the guy behind the happiest place on earth to make that fan experience something pretty special?
Yes, I mean, if you look, Disney is the consummate marketer. And when I say consummate marketer, not just in getting people into their theme parks and their places, but doing a great job once they're there. What we're seeing now in professional sports, the fan experience part's getting big. There are companies that are using virtual reality now to put fans immersed in like they're actually on the field. There's a company up in the Bay Area called Striver that's doing this with a number of professional sports organizations. And I think we're going to see things like this in the future where we go to a game, look at the Dallas Stadium. You know, you have these gigantic scoreboards. It's going to be so different. You often wonder if people are even going to watch the game itself.
So you believe wholeheartedly that this move is a serious one by the Chargers, and perhaps the city of San Diego needs to step up its game, would you say? Or is there any chance?
Well, I think the city's done a lot. I think the city has stepped up its game, but I think what's happening now is that they're starting to go up against a foe. It's kind of like now we're trying to put a college team against the Green Bay Packers or the New England Patriots, and that's going to be very difficult for the city to compete against because you have all these resources being thrown in. Now you're bringing in some top executives, and that's going to be a real challenge, I think, for the Chargers to do anything that's going to sway the owners to stop the team from moving to LA.
Joe Belch, thank you so much for your insight this morning. Really nice to talk to you.
Same.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.